Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Give Voice to Teams. My name is Jason Nadeau, and I'm the product manager at SureWeb for our various voice services, such as Cloud PBX, SIP trunking, and of course, our managed Teams voice service, which is going to be the main topic today. So we're going to be exploring the changing realities of working from home and how Teams can be leveraged to help collaboration amongst the different departments and coworkers. We're also going to be looking at the security considerations that are required, or at least should be required, with the tools that we use for work. And lastly, we're going to be talking about how SureWeb's dedicated voice team can simplify and guide you through the process of a Teams voice deployment. So as many of you know, SureWeb has a very close relationship with Microsoft, and we work together to make sure that we provide our partners and their customers with the right solutions for their needs. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce my very first guest, Kevin Martins. Kevin is a partner technical architect for the modern workplace at Microsoft. Kevin, welcome.
Hey, Jason, and thank you for having me on today as one of your guests.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. I'm also joined by our very own James Welburn, one of our voice experts and technical solution advisors with well over 10 years experience in the telecom industry. James is here to guide you through the different voice and collaboration tools that SureWeb and Microsoft have to offer, and to pick the one that's most relevant for the needs, requirements, and even the nice to haves of a business. Hey, James.
Oop,
You're muted.
I'll mute.
Probably unmute myself here. Yeah, no, thanks guys for letting me in this year. I'm definitely looking to help you guys in terms of just sharing the good word and what Teams can do for your business, for your partners, and then I'll touch on a little bit later even how ShareWeb can be a part of that solution for your bases. So again, very much looking forward to this.
Super. Thank you very much for being here with us, Kevin and James. So high level, what we're going to be going through today, we're going to be talking about why is unified communications trending. We're going to look into Microsoft Teams, our hub for teamwork, and how it is so secure. And of course, how SureWeb can help with our managed Teams voice solutions. So we're currently going through this unprecedented period where a huge chunk of the worldwide population has been ordered to stay home. So businesses are moving their entire workforce from corporate offices to home offices. So that means that departments and employees can no longer have meetings together in a boardroom or just walk over to someone's desk to have this impromptu brainstorming session. And that's something that's very important to me. So things are changing right now and really fast. Kevin, can you tell us a little bit about your work from home experiences?
Yeah, sure thing. So, absolutely, things are changing very, very quickly. From those boardroom meetings and one-on-ones, they're so important to so many businesses, and we all now have to your point, have to adapt to this new reality. But see, here's the thing: I've gone through this process already. I worked in a Verizon data center for many years, and where I always went into the office. While there, I battled the Beltway traffic around the city where I am located in a 45-minute commute each way. And when I got there, I had side conversations with people about their weekend plans. I'd listen to the latest gossip. The normal things that happen in an office environment. So when I joined HP about 15 years ago, after my Verizon days, it was very different. It was a 98% work from home position. Everything I knew had changed really for not going into an office. This is really what people are going through forcefully now as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So back then, with my role at HP and again, possibly traveling 2 or 3 weeks throughout the year, the rest of my time was at my home office. Was it a switch? Yes. Was it very odd at first? Yes. And back then we used things like Jabber and for instant messaging and the HP conference calling system, right? Fast forward to about 9 years ago when I began working at Microsoft in another again home office based role. Since then I've seen remote collaboration capabilities grow quite a bit. Now with Microsoft Teams, especially, we can easily switch from instant messaging, file sharing, phone calls, video calls, conference calls, and so much more. And it's capabilities like these that keep us all so well connected and feeling like a team. It's much closer than we actually are when we're spread across thousands of miles across the country. In some cases across the world. So yeah, it's very different. And again, something I've already lived through, and I can just imagine and remember what everyone's going through right now.
Wow. Yeah, that's really great to hear. And communication in its various forms, whether it be chat, email, and of course just voice is really key. And it's extra challenging at this point when the workforce is spread out. So can you tell me a bit about your transition from going to the office work to working from home? Because that must have been a pretty big challenge.
It was, yeah, it was different, right? But I'll tell you, I did grow to love it. I loved the flexibility and how much more work I felt like I was able to get done each day. I wasn't sitting in traffic anymore for an hour and a half each day. I no longer heard that office gossip. That could be a bit of a time waster at times. I didn't hear those distracting coworker telephone conversations that could be very loud. I was able to focus on the work that I love doing so much, and really appreciated the work from home as a more of a perk of the role.
Hmm.
What was really great is the flexibility, and for those of you that have kids, you can think about it like this. I mean, I was working a lot, but if I wanted to step out for lunch, I could. If I wanted to start work at 6 a.m. instead of 8 a.m., I could do that if I needed to take off the afternoon. If I needed to step out to see one of my kids, at a school event, I could. If I could get my kids onto the school bus every morning and be there when they got back. Having that type of flexibility, that's priceless. That's something that my parents and maybe your parents, they didn't have that work from home flexibility,
No.
30 to 40 years ago. We're dating ourselves, but it certainly is something to keep in mind as a perk of the role. You just have to make the best of what it is, and I certainly have learned to appreciate it over the years. So, Jason.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing your work from home experience. So basically what I'm gathering or what I'm hearing is that even though it can be a pretty sudden change, if you have the right tools with some planning, some practice, and a user adoption process in place, working from home, it's not only good for businesses, because now you get access to this whole worldwide pool of talent that you could bring on, but it's good for the employees themselves, right? It helps bring a saner life-work balance. You're able to take those breaks or that lunchtime with your family. So it's good for everybody, from the employers all the way to the employees that become more productive and less distracted. So we keep talking about the right tools. Is this what we call unified communications?
Similar, but not exactly. Let me
Uh,
explain.
Tell me
So,
more.
so like I mentioned, when I worked for HP many years ago, we had a piece of software for doing email, of course. Back then, I'm sure it was Outlook. Another one for booking calendar meetings, again, Outlook. But we also had other things for that real-time chat, the instant messaging from one person to another, clear across the country, right? Another piece of software to do video conferences. Conference bridges, yep, something else. Sharing files back and forth. Remember there was an HP upload system, all web-based back in the day, in case the file size was any bigger than 10 megs, which is nothing nowadays, right?
Yeah.
But it was then we had, you wanted a group chat. Well, that was just something different. But it was all of these different systems we had to work with to bring it all together, right? Well, that's really what unified communications is today. It brings together all of those different elements so that if we do want to step from an instant messaging to a voice call to a video call to share a file, share a screen, we can do that with a click of the button in the same portal. That we'll talk about that a little bit more later on.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Um, so I guess what I keep saying to the people that I talk to, I see UC as kind of like your Swiss Army knife for collaboration, communication, and productivity. So you said it beautifully. It's all these tools that used to be separate that are now all under one roof.
Yep. Yep.
So SureWeb and Microsoft, we've always got the backs of our partners and their customers, and we're going through a very different period right now. So what we see is businesses are looking for ways to set up remote workers as fast as possible. So we have solutions for this. We can help you out. what I recommend is that you reach out to your account manager at SureWeb to hear more about the different options that we have where we could rapidly deploy a remote workforce that will be productive, secure, and happy. So ask your account manager about any current promotions that we might have that's going to help you onboard and deploy this quickly. Also, please stay tuned for our discussion about how and why Microsoft Teams has so quickly become a world leader for unified communication services and how SureWeb can help with this process. So after this section, we'd like to start